What's up, guys? It's Hamza No, and a couple months ago, I was Michael's in a different country, and now I'm Michael's in a different state. So enjoy hearing slightly edited audio with a chance of a train passing by. Anyways, today I'm going to review my drawings for MangAugust. MangAugust? Yeah, MangAugust. Or MangAugust. Whatever. MangAugust is a challenge created by an artist named piggyhammer on Instagram. I thought it would be fun and challenging simultaneously, so I decided to go for it. I didn't do every day on time due to having to go on flights and stuff like that, but I still got all finished by August end. I'll show the process video for each, explain my thoughts while drawing these, and at the end I'll rank them and explain. I don't really want to explain why I ranked each and every one, so I'll just explain the one I ranked the best and the one I ranked the worst. And let's get to it. Day 1. Punch. Oh. Ow! No! Ugh, God damn it. So I had thought about the overall look of the pose before the day started and went straight to drawing this out. But I didn't think of how I'll exactly go about doing this, and I had little to no experience when it comes to manga style. So I would struggle with effects such as speed lines and screen tones. That aside, I also didn't turn the body like I wanted it to. It still feels stiff and did display the correct amount of power the punch is supposed to show, though I improved on that down the line. And with this level finished, I sleep. Day 2. Made. This one was a lot less thought out. I could either go for a more sexy approach or a more comedic one. And to do that, I honestly spun a wheel on the girl I'd use. Pretty bad, huh? And look up a photo of a maid costume. This is the one I drew. So, choosing the comedic route, I decided to draw this OC, losing a bet and having to dress up as a maid. Kinda difficult. While drawing it, I thought it was weird because, canonically, she hasn't worn a dress or a skirt since she was 6. This fact is subject to change, by the way. After that, I drew 3 other characters' reaction. One boy laughing because he and the girl got beef.
Yes! Yes! No, fuck you! No, fuck you! Fuck you!
Another boy being angry, and a girl in shock. I tried something different when it comes to the process, and by that, I just skipped some detailing. I still struggle with screen tones, but that ends day 2. Day 3. Weapon. My personal favorite and one of my best drawings of this challenge. I knew much more of what I was doing than the last day, and the background came out quite nicely. Keep this in mind. I don't draw these kind of backgrounds often. These 4 days I was doing these had more perspective backgrounds than I did in 2 years prior. Alright, looking back on the gallery pre-2022, that might not be true. This background made me draw things I don't draw very often, like water and weapons. Despite that, I say I did well, all things considered. Day 4. Dance. Get this shit off my screen! One of my best, followed by one of my worst. This one was cheesy in more ways than one. I drew the first dance that came out to mind, and from the angle I initially tried, I just wasn't working out very well. So try plan B, which also wasn't very successful, and was still cheesy. Same dance even though you know. It also got me off the track though, and then again, I was going on flight that day and changed the overall look of my drawing. Moving on. Day 5. Sports.
Rebound. Irish Spring, ring, ring,
Not today, man. We're drawing soccer this time.
In the first 2 minutes. Yeah.
I started getting back on track with day 5, and it is also one of the best ones I've done. The poses are significantly more dynamic. Probably because I kept in mind some words Mark Winnett said in one of his videos about making dynamic poses. Anything you could exaggerate, do it. And if anything, I recommend you push it to the point it breaks, and then dial it back a bit to make it work. That made a pretty good difference. Looking back, I'm not sure about the scaling of the piece, and the stadium is lackluster at best, But overall, I say it's awesome. Day 6. Flowers. This day is when I tried something a bit different. Instead of traditional screen tones, I looked up Tetsuya Nomura artwork and tried to take inspiration from that. And tried a bit messier style as well, with a slight gradient. And I like it. The background came out decently despite me rushing it a bit. Overall, this was a very good experimentation. Day 7. Kaiju. In Japanese, this means giant monster, to my knowledge. I struggled to get the pose I was looking for in this drawing. Like the angle might not have been high enough, and the shoulders seemed too aligned with each other. Even after I got it, I'm not sure what kind of design I should give the kaiju, so I took some inspiration from the Breath of the Wild's Linnell and this book I have from several years ago. Then I decided to splatter a layer and try doing fly rocks that way, because I'm bad at randomizing or mixing things up. Then mountains for the final touch. I didn't really sell the tension of the scene that well, and should have toned the mountains since they were behind the kaiju, but it is what it is. Day 8. Chibi. I'll make this one brief because I don't have much to say. Chibi is cute and cool simultaneously, so I guess I was looking forward to this. There are certain characters that I don't draw big eyes for anymore, and I did kind of a lame idea. This is the only 3-point perspective drawing I did, and I went back to cross-hatching usual screen tones. But I'll definitely go back to the other style eventually, not here. That said, moving on.
Why is there a girl dizzy on the floor? Why is my hair see-through? And why was my sword stuck in the rock?
I said, moving on. Day 9. Best Boy. I don't have a best boy in general, so I drew my favorite male OC, Sorakami. I drew him 3 times with each a different outfit as well as coloring style, cause he exists everywhere. Overall, he is a simple character on the outside and complicated on the inside. Very complicated. This shows the options I have, and they all look pretty cool. Day 10. Best Girl. No effort, no skill, no IQ, moving on. Day 11. Yokai. After that disgusting and disappointing day 10, I wanted to aim for bigger. So for this process, I honestly picked a random yokai from the internet that would possibly be challenging for me to draw. It really wasn't. And started the small sketch. In advance, this is frankly what came to mind when I thought of what I would draw for today.
You're done!
Funny, ain't it? The jet was a new thing for me to draw, so I had to look that up too. And it came out pretty well, I think. When I wanted to end things with the outline, I only felt like adding more and more to make the drawing feel less empty, and I did rather well. I also put in old drawings I did to decorate the buildings like the ones I saw in the photo. I wish I could add Japanese text, but my Japanese is lackluster. Grammar, vocabulary, everything. I've practically fallen off, but I'm going to get back on at some point and become fluent as quickly as possible. So in short of what this is, I just drew a giant monster terrorizing Tokyo and moved on with my day. Day 12. Kiss. I'm unsure if it's saying this wouldn't put me at risk, but once again, I picked the girl's name from a spinner. And honestly, I landed on a character I haven't properly named, but you saw her in day 8, so whatever. I'm also unsure if this kiss looks real or not, or if I overdid the cross-hatching, and the boy's right eye looks invisible to some extent. Kinda weird all across the board, but I say it's a decent one, all things considered. Moving on. Hey! When are you gonna start getting girls? Whenever I care enough, and stop asking! Day 13. Food. I originally planned on drawing this character eating something like a pork bun or ramen and but suddenly I had a much more interesting idea, and I'm glad I did. It was much more challenging and funny to draw simultaneously, and I had a lot more fun drawing this one than most of the others. That said, I drew a food fight. I had no clue as to if the beginning, middle, or end of the fights, but safe to say I did close to the beginning of it. Simple perspective, simple poses, feels too simple.
It was much more challenging and funny to draw simultaneously, and I had a lot more fun drawing this one than most of the others.
Looking back, I wish I added much more than I did. Either way, I'm glad I came up with this, and I'm gonna redraw this again someday. Day 14. Magic. I had this in mind for a while now, and also wanted to end this journey with a bang. So I wanted to color this one like I did with this drawing, but keeping the outline like the others. Even with these in mind, I was unsure of a few things at the start. 1. The OC I'll use. 2. The color of the magic effects. 3. What effects will I even use? To answer these questions, I used this one. It is unfinished and didn't add hair or colors to it yet, but it's the only recent unused design that speaks magic to me. So I filled in the blanks this time and see which colors work. The circle felt unusual, but too thick at first, and the lighting didn't seem too bright on the character. I just realized how much of a non-detailed sketch I decided to just go over. Though, to keep this in mind, you can't get the same quality like you get for a detailed sketch. It's best to not outline it right away. And there are some changes I made after posting this. With that, my final MangAugust drawing is finished. Now that we have gone through all the drawings, it's time to explain my worst and my best. Let's start with my worst. And if you haven't guessed it while watching this video, the obvious answer to that is day 10. I cringe looking back at day 10. Artist or not, you could easily tell this was a rush job. More rush than Sonic Forces. No effort making something interesting out of it, no skill required to draw this, no IQ required to draw it either. This is an absolute worst one for me. Before this one, it would have been day 4. But I gained a soft spot for it, and it's significantly less rushed than day 10. I don't want to look back at it, but it reminds me of how sluggish and lazy I was that day. Okay, enough bashing on myself. Which one's my best? This is kind of a tougher choice, but for me, it was day 3. There were a few things I didn't know while making this, like drawing proper weapons or waves, like I mentioned. Despite this, I did really well with it. There are also detail everywhere I look due to the use of hatching and screen tones. Even if I was still learning to do screen tones at the time, that lack of general knowledge or a proper screen tone brush turned to using it for a gradient for areas like the rock, stone, and water, which in my opinion works in my favor, and has my favorite background of them all. And that's about it. I'll leave my rankings for you to see, and see you later.